What's going on, guys? Welcome to Everything Always. My name is Michael Remen, aka Allfires. In a recent Fantastic Four casting video, I remarked that once Marvel Studios finally got the cast in place, and as much as they and Kevin Feige would love to wait for a live in-person presentation, say like D23 or San Diego Comic-Con later this year, that it was going to get out, that there were just too many moving pieces and this would be too big a story, too many friends, too many agents, someone was going to talk, and one of the Hollywood trades that we can trust was actually going to pick up this story. Well, today, it wasn't a Hollywood trade, but rather the most trusted of industry insiders revealing who the actor is in the final running for Reed Richards. Unfortunately, no, it's not John Krasinski, none other than Adam Driver. We're going to talk about where this is coming from, although limited, the other details in tow, and what this ultimately means for casting the reboot of the Fantastic Four in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. But first, if you could grab the subscribe button, we do daily Marvel content at the channel. That's all we do, everything from official Easter eggs, breakdowns, trailers, and reviews, to the occasional industry insider report and everything in between. So if that sort of thing's for you, hit the sub button, leave a comment down below. That will automatically enter you to win our ongoing PS5 giveaway. The next one is right around the corner to coincide with Guardians of the Galaxy, literally just about 2 weeks away. Again, all you got to do, hit the sub button, leave a comment on this video if you want, stick around to the end of the video, we'll get into all the giveaway stuff again there. So via his Patreon this morning, the most trusted and ubiquitous of industry insiders, Daniel RPK, has posted that Adam Driver is in final negotiations for Reed Richards with Marvel Studios. Now, of course, Adam Driver has a history with Disney. He was Kylo Ren, and I know a lot of you said you could more see him as Dr. Doom because of that villain role he played than Reed Richards himself, especially after we saw John Krasinski's portrayal of the character. But I would remind you that he's done quite a few roles outside of Kylo Ren that have really shown off his range. And so while I have to admit he would have not have been my first choice, and he's not exactly what I see as Reed Richards off the comic book pages, that was actually John Krasinski, I would rather him get this role knowing the range and quality of an actor that he is than say some of the other names that were floating around out there. Now, what this means for the Fantastic Four casting ultimately is they must be right around the corner from the rest of the team as well. Just weeks ago, we had heard officially that after Marvel Studios hired a pair of relative no-names in the industry to write the Fantastic Four script, and when I say relative no-names, I mean they had not yet published a single film. They had scripts in the works, they just hadn't published anything. We then found out that the script would be officially rewritten in full. I thought this might actually push the casting back, but as it turns out, Marvel Studios has had a very clear picture in mind of who they want for these roles. Now that Reed Richards is being announced and in this way, I suspect one of two things is going to happen in either later today or this week. Number one, once this is official, those quote-unquote final negotiations sort of matriculate just a bit, there's going to be a confirmation from a Deadline or a Hollywood Reporter. Again, as I mentioned during the prologue, the story is just too big, too many moving parts in Hollywood, someone's going to find out. Number two, I also suspect that the other shoe, or should I say other several shoes, are going to drop as we're going to find out who the rest of the team is, because it's not just casting each one of these actors individually, the chemistry of the team has to come together, and Marvel knows that. They're obviously crafting that around whoever they pick for Reed and Sue Storm. And so while yes, the Marvel fan in me's heart was holding out for John Krasinski, I am ultimately glad to hear that someone like Adam Driver is in the final negotiations. And you have to imagine, guys, if Adam Driver gets to final negotiations with Marvel and Disney for Reed Richards, they're not going to drop the ball barring some huge thing there. So this is about as good as confirmed. And if you're wondering about Daniel Rickman's sort of trustworthiness on a scale of 1 to 10, as far as who we cover in the industry, he's right up there with a Hollywood Reporter and Deadline. So you can bank this as confirmed when you start talking about it with your friends and at the water cooler. Adam Driver, final negotiations for Reed Richards. You can consider that as good as confirmed until Marvel Studios makes an official announcement themselves, or say, I don't know, Adam Driver posts it to his Instagram, which is never going to happen. Now, we had heard previously that the age of these actors was super important, that whoever played Sue Storm and Reed Richards needed to be of a particular age. Maybe not as old as we're used to reading them off the comic book pages, but old enough that they could have kids. Adam Driver is 39 years old. He's actually born 4 days after me. We're the exact same age. We'll both be 40 at the end of this year, meaning those rumors might be true, that he can still be old enough to say have Franklin Richards as a young boy and or children in the film, but not as an actor being his late 40s or 50s. And this brings me to my ultimate point, where some of these actors in the MCU were already in their 50s when they took these roles and they started to age out of them. Casting Reed Richards as a 39-year-old gives him plenty of time over the next decade plus in multiple sagas in the MCU without Adam Driver aging out of this role, and where Marvel Studios has already had to talk about what a soft reboot means going forward past Phase 7 into the Mutant Saga or whatever they'll end up calling the next iteration. You don't want to have to recast these characters if you don't have to. And now I think it's pretty clear and obvious from this age and this particular casting that Marvel Studios is extremely cognizant of that and is going for a slightly younger actor. So if they keep Adam Driver's Reed Richards in the MCU for the next 15 or 20 years, he won't yet even be 50 by the time he closes out that role. That way Marvel Studios does not have to work, barring some tragedy, to worry about what to do with the future of the character once the actor reaches 60, which is already happened or starting to happen for some of the actors they had cast already in the MCU. So again, while not my first choice, not the person I would have picked, it appears as though Adam Driver is going to be our Reed Richards, and I can't wait to see who the rest of the team members are that they surround him with. Guys, let me know all your thoughts and reaction down below. As always, how do you feel about Kylo Ren being Reed Richards? Can you see it? What do you expect from these upcoming films? Again, I'm all ears. I'm for it. You guys let me know all your thoughts and who you want to see as the Fantastic Four around him. Quickly, let's get into the giveaway stuff. But before we get into that, I want to tell you about my brand new EP that just dropped. That's right, for those of you who don't know, I'm actually a musician. I worked on my debut EP for the last year and a half, and it came out on midnight on Monday. Now, I very lightly pre-sold it at the channel, only brought it up in a couple of videos. Your guys' support was insane, and so insane that we broke the top 40 alternative albums in the US. Just look at the names on this sheet of bands that we ended up charting in front of, and that's directly due to sales that you guys did for the record. So thank you to all of you. If you have an extra $5, if you've never supported me as a content creator before and you want the opportunity to do so now, please click the link down in the comments in the description. Because I charted here in iTunes in this way, I may have actually sold enough to hit the Heat Seekers chart, and every next album sale counts. So if you want to support me as a content creator and as a musician, if you're just morbidly curious, please consider hitting the link and buying the album. I know very few people buy music anymore, but because of you guys, I've hit a lifelong dream, and I'm right around the corner from a second one, and I cannot thank you enough. Okay, quickly with the giveaway stuff, we are still giving away a PlayStation 5. The next one's Guardians of the Galaxy. All you got to do to be entered to win, hit the subscribe button, then leave a comment down below. Because it's truly random, the more videos you comment on, the better chance you have of winning. All winners will be announced at the end of videos, the same way we're doing here. The best way to keep up with the content has always been to hit the notification bell with all notifications turned on, and as always, if you like today's video, I'd appreciate it if you'd hit the like button. My name's Michael Roman. You can find me in a couple of places, Instagram and Twitter at I'mFires. You can also find me on Spotify, YouTube, Amazon, Apple, iTunes, wherever you listen to original music under the name All Fires. And like I said again, I cannot thank you guys enough for your support. Charting the top 100 alternative albums in the country was quite a feat, especially alongside these names. I'm going for the Billboard charts. If you want to help me out, I'd love you forever. If not, no worries. No one will ever know. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.